Hey everyone, it's Jake. It's just a quick disclaimer before the video starts, just to let you guys know that we're aware of the audio balance issues between the three of us, but because these first 4 episodes were recorded in bulk, there's only so much post-editing we can do to fix the issue. So apologies, bear with us, we're all still learning the ropes. But with that out the way, enjoy the episode.
So this week we're going to be talking about mythology, starting off with Zeus, Odin, all that sort of thing, moving on to more modern mythologies like Mothman, Goatman, just how it's inspired stuff really. Let's just get right into it.
Jump on it, like jumping on someone's car bonnet.
What?
Vandals. What?
Why are you such a loose cannon?
And made it immediately to the aggressive option of jumping on someone's
This is
car.
what I do. I'll do this every episode. I'll start and I'll come in with as much energy.
Yeah.
And by the end of the
Come in
episode,
hot.
I'll be like, yeah.
Jake's
Basically, he's got no energy.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Jake's burning it up and then...
Yeah. Come in, I'm like a solar flare. Just, Wah!
Your farts like solar flares. Right.
Anyway, so what is your guys' knowledge?
I think me and
What do you know?
I think me and you have got very similar knowledge of. We know the basics.
Yeah.
I say no, we've got the basics, but I know a little bit more about ancient than modern. Whereas I think, well, you've said you know that, and obviously you know everything because you.
Yeah,
you know everything.
You know everything.
I'm
No
more
pressure.
modern. I'm definitely more modern than age. I know bits and pieces of ancient mythology stuff, but most of it's all popular mythology.
Well, the very basic fact of mythology is it's the human nature of just explaining away or just labelling stuff so we don't get uncomfortable.
Most myths, from what I believe, is they have some form of truth in them to a point. For example, the myth of Achilles.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Sure.
Now, I think there was probably a very heroic soldier.
Fighter.
Yeah. During that war. Now, the myth turned... Basically, what started off, he was a very competent fighter. He had this fight, and he won lots of battles, and they did... Because they used to avoid mass casualties in their armies, they used to do the champion versus champion who won the war, pretty much. And this one champion, called Achilles, just happened to keep winning. Have you seen the Dwayne Johnson Hercules film?
No.
So he does it really good in that, in the sense of how the myth becomes reality of he killed someone with one punch. In reality, he slid like a little broken arrow in his fist and just punched him.
Damn.
And that's how he killed him. But by changing the mythology...
Yeah.
And a storyteller saying, it changes that. Because he builds up this persona, people become scared of him, so when they see him coming towards them, they panic.
Yeah.
And then he's able to beat massive armies because they're all panicking because they think this literal god's about to attack them.
Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't the fact that it was The Rock? Sure it wasn't that? Because I feel like that factored into it a lot. It was The Rock.
But that's where...
he wins everything.
Yeah. He literally has it in his contract, right? But no, that's where I think some stories have a core of truth in them that then adapt into... Perfect example is modern militaries do it all the time for people when they win medals, for example, Medal of Honor. Now, not in a bad way. These people have done heroic deeds. But they will be changed ever so slightly, not because they don't deserve it, but they will be reported in such a way to make it...
Exaggerated.
Not even exaggerated, but be reported in a way of... They will say this person did this. When in reality, the person just basically acted on instinct. They didn't think about it. They did the heroic deed because they're heroic people. The stories naturally take on a life of their own.
So with mythology, I think it's important to discuss like figures, like you say, obviously it's taken from real life examples, but figures in famous stories who've just gone on through the ages. So for example, King Arthur is, I would certainly class as a mythology.
I would class that same sort of thing as Achilles, in the sense of there was probably a king called Arthur, and then it just took a life of its own persona, and then down the ages, in reality, the Sword and the Stone story was probably it's been blemished from. He recovered his this sword, that's the thing, and he recovered it, and he recovered it from a stone or whatever. Sure. Chinese whispers, because whenever you transfer one language to another, it loses some of its meaning. Point in case example, German.
Words don't translate correctly.
Yeah,
no.
They say, if we say I want to drink here, ich kann hier trinken. They say hier trinken first, but to us that's saying they're here drink.
Yeah.
So there's slight changes in the way. Obviously, I do if I mispronounce that German there,
let him know.
Let me know, and I apologise.
They're already in the comments.
Yeah, tell him.
I've seen it. It's a war zone down there.
Hey, the first time I've ever the first times anyone have ever spoken any of this little German that I'm currently
Hey, do you know what? I don't know much German, but your pronunciation sounded pretty
I thought it sounded pretty good.
God damn, this man's fluent.
I thought it sounded, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Whoa,
Yeah,
he's
I
been
thought it
practicing.
genuinely came to me shock. I was like, wait, can James speak German?
You've been in the car driving over here being like, saying it over and over in your head, like, I've got to make it sound good. I've got sound fluent.
It's funny, the only thing I know how to say is, can I get a drink here?
That's all you need. Now you need to learn,
Can I eat here?
yeah, can I eat here? And then you're sorted. You can go to anywhere in Germany. Anywhere.
Anywhere.
You can break into someone's house. Can I eat here? No. Fair enough. Can I sleep here? 9. Fair enough.
For 9 nights, really? Wow.
That's a long time. I'm only here for a week. Don't worry about it.
I'd say one of my favourite things about mythology, though, is just how it's continued on through the ages. We haven't lost these stories. That's amazing. It's amazing how much ancient mythology and stuff has inspired in like modern media. So with like superheroes, for example.
I was gonna say along the lines, because I mentioned the King George thing with the dragon.
Yeah.
And how it's interesting that lots of other cultures have a version of a dragon.
Yeah.
In their like mythology.
That is something that's interesting.
So I'm always like, why is it touched so many cultures, but dragons aren't real?
That's something.
So-
There's also something to that as well, where it's like everyone has their own version of gods fighting these giant monsters. So you've got obviously the Norse gods and the giants. You've got the Olympian gods and the Titans, and you've got the Leviathans in the Bible, and it's just, there's that as well.
For me, that can be explained. Obviously, both of them were stories. So we, as a people, started somewhere in Africa, and then over the centuries...
No, I didn't.
I was in Africa.
I'm born in Manchester. How dare you?
Born and bred.
Let me finish.
Choose
Come on, guys. Okay, but actually, our stories started in that one core area.
Yeah.
Now, over time, obviously, the Homo sapiens, whatever you want to say, we've spread out, and then we've interbred with other subspecies of humans, or may not, depending on what you believe are.
Sure.
But our stories started from one sort of thing. Now, as you go out, those stories can take on a life of their own. Go out. As they spread out, those stories can take on a life of their own.
Yep.
So if you went back to ancient time and heard the first iterations of that, it would all be the same around the campfire.
Sure.
And then the people that have gone to, for example, like Scandinavia, but over time, they're going to become more in relation to their aesthetics. So frost, ice, snow. Whereas if you go more towards like Mediterranean, it's going to be more about the volcanic activity and stuff like that, the cataclysmic stuff. And then as you go more towards Egypt, and which is saying the most, it's going to be more about in relation to, we're a bit closer to the core, because it was one of the first areas to be settled.
Well done. I enjoyed that point. Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know what to say. He's giving me a compliment.
This is just a really sort of basic question for it, but do you guys have like a favourite mythological character? So for mine is easy. It's the Monkey King. It's Sun Wukong.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come?
Well, I mean, there's several reasons. There's the fact that
Name them.
Yeah.
All of them.
He has multiple layers of immortality.
Damn.
So there was a drink which is the gods drink, and it makes them immortal.
Dr. Pepper.
He drank that. So there was a peach tree full of peaches that make you immortal. Yeah, all the peaches.
So let's just throw these in there. So the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah.
So just throw them over morphology. Fountain of Youth.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The Adam and Eve and the apple.
Yeah.
In the garden.
That's not immortality though.
There was I forget exactly what it was, but it was a list of
A Chinese ordered himself a takeaway. Immortality takeaway.
Did you get Hong Kong food?
No.
We're gonna break in today.
It was it's
salt,
like
pepper,
a
spare ribs of immortality.
essentially it was a list of people who are due to die, and he just
Hey.
removed his name.
They not get suspicious when there was a gap in the name.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Where's that bloody monkey?
Alphabetically, your name would go here, and it's not there.
That bloody monkey, he's been at it again, that cheeky little bastard.
No, would they not just re-add his name because they know he's missing?
But also, he's already got 2 tiers. He's already got 2 of the Infinity Stones of Immortality.
When
they come and kill him, he's like, no, can't.
You can't,
if you're immortal, why's your name on the list of people that are going to die? You're immortal.
Why do you need another layer of immortality?
Just because he's greedy.
So I'm already getting hold of this story right now.
Stupid monkey.
But he's like the inspiration for Goku. In fact, a lot of anime characters take their inspiration from Son Wukong.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Did you guys have any like personal mythologies, like you made up your own little explanations for things?
So I got a personal belief and a bit of a mythology that the human body has senses that you can't quite comprehend. So we've all had that sort of feeling when you feel like you're being watched.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know. I think that's some part of you, like your sensual awareness that goes back to like a primordial thing of you ever looked at a dog, for example.
Mm-hmm.
The dog will know you're looking at it and will then 9 times out of 10 somehow like look at you, make eye contact.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think for me, most mythologies and stuff like that are some form of sense that you don't can't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But when we come back to modern mythologies, ancient ones are more about explaining things we can't comprehend.
Yeah.
Modern ones are things you can't understand, but you need to fill the blank. So, for example, deja vu. Been in similar situations, but your brain goes, done this before.
Yeah.
Chances are you have, but not exactly the same.
That ties into something that I had when I was a child, which ties into, I used to be afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
So obviously in my brain, your brain sort of makes stuff up and fills it with. So obviously I had stuff like there was a guy who lived in the dark and would.
Oh, so we've all been there when you're
terrifying.
shattered, looking at a dressing gown on the back of your door, going, "Why the fuck is there someone in my
There's
room?"
a Dementor in the room.
Yeah.
And in reality, it's just your dressing gown.
Yeah.
Or when you turn the lights off downstairs.
Yes.
And you have to
believe I'm running
you
upstairs.
run up the stairs. Yeah.
I'm going on all fours to go.
I'm running so Shadow Man can't get me.
The Shadow Man coming. I like the comedy videos, like the TikToks and stuff, where it's like somebody is the Shadow Man and chases you up the stairs.
Yeah.
And you get to your room and he's like, you got away from me this time.
And it's like everyone does the normal thing of like, yeah, base is safe. If I'm under the covers, you can't get me. Oh, damn it! And it's like,
damn it. You shut the wardrobe doors tonight.
Oh, I swear, the other night I was in bed and I heard someone like that, and I was like, "Well, I've got to go out and check. I've got to go to the window and check."
You've just unlocked a memory, actually. When we lived together in that flat,
Yeah.
I remember one night hearing someone knock on my window. And
Yeah.
obviously where I was sleeping, the window was like directly behind me.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing the doom of someone knocking, and I used to have like these black curtains hung up, and I remember being like, "Do I look?"
no, you fucking do
Do I
not.
look?
No.
There's
Have
someone
ever
there.
watched
Is
a
someone
horror
just like-
film? You have just died.
Yeah.
Someone knocks on the door, you won't investigate.
No.
No. I am barricading my freaking room
Yeah.
and saying, if there's an evil spirit, give me till tomorrow, I will leave and you have this house back. Okay?
This is your house, bro. No,
That's fine. It's
It's like
fine.
those little thing of like, if there's an evil spirit here, can you just say hello? Then it's like, oh, I should say hello! Jeez!
Jesus, wait.
It's just, yeah, but you just died in this horror film
Yeah.
because you went to investigate.
Well, I didn't go to the door and invest. I just peeked out the
No, it
blinds.
doesn't matter. You went and investigated, you're going to die.
Right.
It's always like you peek out the blinds, but in the horror films, they're looking exactly where you just peeked out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, always, they're not always looking the other way. It's always like directly, like,
Yeah.
Oh, fuck!
hello.
Just like. Ah, right. It's okay. I'm going back to bed.
Cool.
Just absolutely, just like a massive turd come out. You look like,
Well, that happened.
yeah. Because that's unlocked a memory. Have either of you ever played the game Yellow Car?
The one where you see a yellow car and
You punch it.
Yeah.
So many moons ago, me and my mum were driving somewhere. Now this is just after I had got my driving license, so I was driving.
Okay.
We saw a yellow car.
Yeah.
Now I was always on mum's.
Yeah, sure.
I was driving, and then all I heard mum was go, "Yellow car!" Bang! Punched the window. And like, I just went over and because for years I was like, yeah. And I was like, is that how hard you've been punching me? feet and just like bro whacked the window,
shattered the window.
And I was just like,
talking about unlocking memories and mythologies in our own heads. Did you guys ever have shadow runners?
Oh yeah, when you look out the window
and you see something's
running along the side,
yeah.
No, I've never had that.
Yeah.
It's funny because they're not necessarily mythologies.
Yeah.
But that's where mythologies, I think, would start. Mm-hmm. We would tell our kids that stories of these little things, Running Man, these little things. They then keep that memory. As a kid, they experience that because that's what we've told them. So that fills in the blanks with what we've told them. And then they told the story, but it slightly changes.
Yellow Man. You're going to tell your kids about Yellow Man, aren't you?
Of course I am. To clarify, Yellow Man is. Okay.
Yeah, you probably should clarify that.
Definitely clarify what the Yellow Man is. I had basically a nightmare once where I was in some kind of like shopping centre that was empty, besides me and this group of people. And someone in the group was like, we need to be careful because the Yellow Man might get us. And I was like, the Yellow Man? What's that? This is all in the dream. The Yellow Man? What's that? And they were like, oh, he's a man that can like infiltrate dreams.
You're there in a dream.
And I'm there in a dream. And I was like, right, okay.
And the dream just becomes self-aware, just out of nowhere.
Some Inception bullshit right there.
So yeah, they're like, oh yeah, he invades dreams and kills people. And then a few minutes, like within the dream, a few minutes later, they were like, oh my god, the Yellow Man's here. I remember that feeling you get, you know, when you've closed your eyes and someone flashes a torch on like your eyelids and you can see the flicker of light.
Yeah.
A yellow light flicking on my eyelids, and then I woke up so suddenly that I felt like I'd been woken up by the flashing lights. So I was like, have I just avoided some sort of sleep demon? As soon as I woke up, I started Googling the Yellow Man to see if like someone else had been like, has anybody ever dreamt about a Yellow Man before? Because then I'd be like, oh my god, it's real!
My favourite thing about Jake's stories is I always picture in my head how Jake's reacting, and in my head now, Jake is literally leaping out of bed, swinging, just going,
Stop! John was like, what's wrong? Danger, Gemma! Danger!
The Yellow Man! What are you talking about?
Dogs barking. The whole house is in uproar.
No, let's be honest. This would be Joe's reaction. What are you talking? Go back to sleep.
Yeah, me swinging a bat in the room. Just,
you mad bastard. Go back to sleep. But anyway.
Okay. So Tom's got a terrible take for us?
Yeah.
Okay, Tom's terrible takes is
either opinions that I have that I don't think everyone would agree with, or opinions that I found on the internet that I just think are absolutely wild. In this case, it is loosely based on mythology. How mythology has inspired fiction is great, and I love it, and everyone taking their own twists on it, and it is fantastic. One thing I do want to see less of is, can we please just stop pitting characters against each other? I don't like it. I just want everyone to get along.
In what sense?
In who would win in this fight? I mean, I get the point of it. It's to go, this character's better than this character and all that sort of thing.
Oh, like Superman versus Homeland.
Or Superman versus Goku. They would get along, guys. They'd be friends. Everyone knows that.
Who's stronger?
I completely agree with this because I see it.
Who's stronger?
I completely agree because I see it at the time. You see, for me, it's Warhammer Space Marine against the Master Chief. They're different universes, different
scaling
concepts.
Yeah,
you can't compare them because they are different. That's
okay.
what I found.
Superman's been possessed. Now who wins? Now he's a bad guy.
That's what I mean. And then these people, they keep moving the goalposts, and it's just like, look, I don't want to have an argument about this. I know Superman. He's a very nice man.
He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah,
I cool with everyone.
You know what? That's not a terrible take, so I completely agree with that.
Thank you.
I disagree.
You disagree.
It's a terrible take. In fairness, I don't like the fact that I'll never actually see these fights in any proper like media that I get to watch. Like, it won't be in a film or in a TV show. But I wanna see someone animate a fight of Homelander and Superman and
but they're
watch them smacking heads.
They are the same character because Homelander is made as a parody of Superman.
Yeah.
In a world where he is actually more in line with how people would be with superpowers if you take a current moral standpoint.
And if they had a fight, who would win?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with the very base concept of my character.
It's more their personalities, isn't it? 'Cause
yeah.
Take Goku fighting Superman. Goku would relish the fight, whether Superman's a good guy or a bad guy, because he enjoys
absolutely
pushing his limits. So he would probably ask Superman for a fight for the sake of seeing who would win himself. And Superman would just be like, yeah, but let's not do it on planet Earth.
Yeah, because I don't want it. I don't want it.
But I agree with the take because it's got out of hand. Because I'll use my one for example. If you go off all laws and stuff, this character that everyone loves in Master Chief, in reality, would get slapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main thing I dislike, at least, is the fact that it's never the right version of that character that they use. No one's ever happy because Superman will get beat and they'll be like, oh, but if it was this version of Superman, when it's like that one comic where they've become a god or something, they're like, well, if it was them in this comic that's been written so they're literally invincible.
It was the version of Superman from the 50s where he could sneeze away an entire galaxy.
If it was that version. Of course, if it was that version.
But that's what I mean. It comes out to the thing of like you can never really compare different fandoms. Like I'll use one that I know of, which is Master Chief against a Space Marine. Master Chief is fantastic. He's strong. He's described as
he ain't beating a space.
But everyone in the fandom they're like, oh yeah, because this. No, it just not.
It's not.
It's not. And then it comes down to things like, for example, doing like more fantastic creatures. For example, Aragon against say someone like
Aragorn versus Aragon.
Or Gandalf versus Dumbledore.
Yeah, Gandalf would slap it because Gandalf is literally an angel. Maya, he's an angelic powers, who basically doesn't slap, but fights another Balrog, and they fight and they do it. Dumbledore is powerful.
Yeah.
But there's just no comparison.
But I think my problem with it is my brain can't let go of the characters. Like everybody pits these characters against each other, but my brain can't go. They wouldn't fight each other. Dumbledore and Gandalf would sit there having tea or something.
Once again, then comes another one is people going about, oh, how would Superman versus Thanos? Superman would slap Thanos.
Yeah.
Because Thanos is powerful within the MCU, but they're different level between the different power scales, and it's not because I don't think Thanos is powerful, but they're just different universes. It's like comparing salt with sugar. They're completely different
substances.
They might look similar,
but
they're completely different. I know that's a very weird comparison, but there's as different from each other as you can get.
Yeah.
You can't compare them.
But the funny thing about all of this is the best thing about it is I'm saying I just want all the fandoms to get along. The comments now are going to be full of people arguing about which character can beat which character.
There's going to be people. If you go for sci-fi characters, I'm just going to say this: if you get one-on-one, most sci-fi characters lose to a Space Marine.
That's going to be a huge chunk of the comments now disagreeing with that statement.
I think we should leave them with what's your most favourite obscure like mythology or story from mythology.
Yeah,
I think should be because I want to see some like crazy like creepypasta stuff.
Yeah,
that's
or
what I'm here for.
Loki sleeping with a horse, or you know.
Oh, hell no! You got to follow us on all the things.
Yeah,
right?
Hang on. Yeah, you got to plug the stuff.
We're on all the bits. Okay, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, all those places. Come
All
follow
of
us. Leave a comment.
Even that one.
That one.
Yeah, MySpace. We're on it. Anyway, we love you guys. Follow us. Come and hang out with us and
Do
tell
it.
us some stuff and stay with us.
Hit
Good
it.
night. Sweet dreams. And watch out for that thing just behind you.
Wait. What?
What?